One-foot-flipper.
Paige here, the one-foot-flipper. How's it going? I'm doing okay. Today we're going to talk about live selling. Is it right for you? Is it wrong for you? Should you maybe go all in on it? Should you ignore it like you ignore your neighbor Dwight's carrot farming YouTube channel? I mean, the dude tries so hard, but he only has 17 subs, and 2 of them are you. Live selling, like on Whatnot or District, has one huge distinct advantage. You get to get rid of everything immediately. You start that all fuggler show with 100 fugglers. The next day, you're packing and shipping out 100 fugglers. Way better than the 8-month sell-through rate that you probably have on eBay. Most of you probably have worse. Some of you have much better, I'm sure. Actually, no, you probably have all much better. It's the people down the street from you who have worse, and me. And if you're sort of a big deal, then you might actually get more for your items than on eBay. However, I think we'll talk about that part in a little bit. Second big advantage to your live selling is that you are going to have a lot of multi-item orders. Most of those customers are actually going to take advantage of combined shipping, and they're going to get item after item in a way that you could never dream of them doing on eBay. I found it's almost impossible to get somebody to buy a second item on eBay. You could put items buy one, get one free. People just take one. However, there are a lot of disadvantages to live selling as well. You need to either have a personality to do it, so I'm out right there, or a focused specialty. If you're going to do an all-card show, then you can be sure that all the people in your stream are going to be card customers. And you could run that stream doing your best impression of Ben Stein in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it won't matter one bit, because the viewers are just going to want to see that next card. All right, let's do a few sales. I'll just put a picture up here because it's already gone. I sold a big lot of video game stuff on District Commons for $320. It's like 40 pounds worth of stuff, a whole bunch of PlayStation 2, some worked, some didn't, a Nintendo, gobs and gobs and gobs of controllers, hookups, cables, everything else. I'm not a video game seller. I don't want to deal with that stuff, so I sold it all off to somebody who was for $320 plus shipping. I sold this lot of 3 boxes of Matsuhado brand embroidery thread. It says Matsuhado on the box, but then it says cow on the threads. There's 3 boxes of them. Sold for $45. These were a Goodwill outlet find. I didn't actually find them myself. Meta Bubbles was with me that day, and he found them. But when Meta Bubbles goes with me, he just goes along for the ride to have fun, so I'm the one who bought them, so that's all. That profit's all mine. Road Rash 3D, PS1, $5.90. This took a year to sell. I had the best price on eBay when I put it up, and it got marked down over and over again. Still took a year to sell. Video games, declining category, my friends. Today, I set up a tool cart down here because I just couldn't solve my tool problem of where to store tools. Before, I was storing them in different bins and looking them up on the spreadsheet, but they weren't getting put back into the right bins. And I found the tool cart instantly solved the problem. It can get pushed over into the bar area the 99% of the time I'm not using it, and then I can pull it out when I need it. Sold this Fisher-Price Fun to Learn tablet, $15. Things like this are usually bad and will probably be worse in the future, as there's just so many full-size, tablets for kids that are near free these days, especially used, but that one was good enough. That was also Goodwill bins. A doll baby kit, knockoff Cabbage Patch doll, build your own, $6.98. This was bins. I think my daughter found that one. Oh, this one's in my pocket. Would you like to see what's in my pocket? You want to reach in my fanny pack, get my sticker? Guitar Hero on Tour, Nintendo DS, $4.85. Plus more shipping. Nope, 99 cents shipping. I hope I moved that to the right category. I hope I put that into a category that can actually ship with standard envelope, because the video game category supposedly allows standard envelope shipping. It's on the list of categories, but they recently stopped allowing the label in that category. Probably because morons were trying to ship full discs with it, or full CDs or whatever, and that wouldn't work. A dropshipper bought this PS5 game, which Please do not include any invoices, receipts, or paperwork inside the package. Also, please test it thoroughly, clean, resurface before shipping out. We'll leave positive feedback for your efforts. Thank you. I'm just going to mail it. I sold this beautiful Force of Will Echoes of the New World playmat for $2.70. These also make great mouse pads. And I have quantity on, not on that style anymore, but I have quantity on that stuff in general. Sold a Pokemon EV Evolutions poster that will go via standard envelope folded up. It's lists that in the CCG other items category. That sold for $4.36, and I have quantity on those. All right, let's get back to the rest of it. However, if you don't have a specialty, then you've got to keep the viewers entertained long enough to wait around for the small percentage of items they might actually be interested in. Next thing is, you've got to be fast. I've seen way too many streaming sellers who are not even cracking $30 an hour in sales in their stream. Once you got the sourcing and packing time and expenses, they're not even making $10 an hour. Okay, you don't have to be that fast, but you do have to be fast. I recently saw somebody running a card stream. This will be an unmentioned person on an unmentioned website, and they spent 10 solid minutes to show off every card in a lot of 10, holding each one up to the camera for an apparent eternity, asking if we liked that card, what we thought of it, before finally opening the bidding and getting a $2 pity bid several minutes later because all the cards in that lot were worthless. If you're trying to quick flip something with no real value, you need to do it as quickly as possible. The worst possible thing you can do is bore your customers to death, give them 10 solid minutes to check comps in another window, and then open the item up for bidding. You need to say, lot of 10 Marvel Art cards. Here they are. Don't they look nice? Point the camera at them and start the bidding seconds later. Unless you're a huge social media presence and rarely sell live, then you're going to get less money than you would on eBay. If you're just starting out, then you're going to have to go get a following. You're going to get a lot less money to build up that following from scratch on your reselling stream. Prepare to sell things at a loss for possibly months. Live selling means you're trading away some of that freedom that reselling otherwise gave you. You're going to need to be running prime time and weekend shows to maximize your profits. Oh, sorry, can't go out on the boat with you this weekend, Leroy, because I got to run that Fugler show. Can you go Tuesday afternoon? Well, with traditional reselling, you can pretty much work whatever schedule you want as long as you get everything done. All right, slow day. There have been a lot of those lately. Sold a PlayStation game, Nom 67 Shell Shock, $5.40 plus shipping. I sold a bag of Pokemon dice or gift bags, 25 of them for $7.20. I'm surprised these aren't more valuable. I've got these available to buy one at a time too, shipped in an envelope, but nobody buys them. Not sure why. Sold a bag of Bachmann G-Scale train track clips, $28.23. I sold this Dust Studios Ninja unit. Dust is a war game based on the fact that World War II continued instead of ending in 45. This is an Imperial Japan walker, and he comes with some ninja buddies here, and this one is some sort of two-man team with some sort of electric railgun there. And they sold for $115.94 to a repeat buyer. Not a viewer, he's just a repeat buyer of my really expensive Dust stuff, of which I think I've only got one piece left. I expect in 6 months to sell to that same customer. All right, that's the pitiful tiny amount of sales I've got for today. Let's hope it picks up tomorrow. Well, I'm going to agree that your average live sale is going to be less labor than your average eBay sale will be. But you might find that you're actually putting in more hours to make the exact same profit once you factor in the lower profit margins. You can double or even triple this labor problem if you've got multiple people involved in the auction process. I've seen auctions where there are 3 or 4 people there. You know, somebody's running the camera, somebody else is showing the items, somebody else is bringing Billy the items, and so on. Once you account for the labor of you, your spouse, your cousin Joey, your daughter's boyfriend, it can end up at an insane labor cost. You know what? Even if you're not paying these people, their time is still being used up. That's still a labor cost. You're just taking it from them and not giving them anything in return. If you do decide to truly specialize in live selling, then most of the fun of picking kind of goes out the window a bit when you're buying live auction items. Instead of hunting and researching and checking comps, you're kind of buying whatever garbage plush toys or whatever's in your specialty that passes in front of your face. There's not a huge need to look for the super good items anymore, so the hunt is ruined. And when you do find the super good ones, you can end up putting them on eBay anyway. Not going to make them. Hopefully, you're not going to make the mistake of putting that $200 bolo on whatnot and selling it for $8. Another disadvantage to your live selling is the minute you stop working is the minute the money stops rolling in. If you don't run a show for a month, then you don't make any money for a month. And this just is not true for traditional platforms. If you have 1,000, 2,000 items in your eBay store, then it's going to continue producing money for a long time after you stop listing. I stopped listing on my card store February of 2023, and I still get $500 in sales a month in that store. It's not going to happen on Whatnot. So, you know how I always talk to you guys and I mentioned you should have a spare of any critical business equipment? Well, last night, my card station computer blew up. I do have two stations. I have my card station upstairs and my normal shipping station downstairs. My card station computer is also our basic main family computer as well. And it blew up last night. But guess what? I keep a spare refurb computer on hand, already set up to hook up already with the printer drivers and everything installed to go with all the various printers and accessories. So instead of losing an entire day to buying and setting up a new computer, I was back in business in probably half hour to an hour maybe, and most of that time was trying to figure out if I could, quick fix the other computer, which I couldn't. Got to get some new parts, and anyway, that got me immediately back into business, and thus I didn't lose any time. I sold this Clock-A-Dial homeschool, learn how to read the dial clock thing, $24.25. Believe this was Goodwill Outlet. Feels like £1.50, so it would have been $3 in. Oh my, something else just sold. It just sold while we were doing all this, so I'll put it up on the screen. Sold a Blood Bowl dwarf thing for $45.64. I'll just put the picture up here since it's not here at the bar. And same thing, vintage Christmas snow globe, sold for $9.13 plus tax. Santana, self-titled, $8.73. Quality of my records keeps going down and down. I haven't restocked in a while. Munchkin, Oz, $7.76. Its weighs right at 1 pound, so I had $2 in it, so I'm only going to clear about $4 on that. That was a Ben's item. Last one here. It's only going to apply to the social media 1% of 1%ers out there. But my research shows a huge correlation between switching over to almost exclusively live-based selling and your YouTube channel kind of going into the toilet. Now, my theories on this is that every YouTube reseller has several different types of fans. They've got their true reseller fans. They're watching for tips and tricks and bolos, and these people usually sell traditionally on eBay or Etsy or something. And when you shift to live selling, then you stop having as much to offer them, and some of them are going to stop watching. Then you have your aspirational viewers. They're not resellers, but they dream about it, and they live a little bit through your journey. However, most of them don't dream of live selling. Just that jump to eBay selling is, too much, is a fantasy for them, and jumping to live selling is beyond what they want to do. So you start losing them. Finally, you have the fans who just love you. They're the ones who are going to follow you over the live platform, watch your streams, and buy your items. However, many of those people are going to start watching all of those Whatnot streams and slowly stop watching you on YouTube. They're getting live interactions to you every time on that live selling site. And your static videos where you talk about the Whatnot sales aren't interesting to them anymore because they were already there for the Whatnot sale. Tonka semi-truck cab in blue, $10.96. I know exactly that I paid $3 for this because I remember the guy at the garage sale would not come down off his $3. But it still did sell for a profit. So I don't care. Ultra Pro playmat. Maybe you can see the picture right there. Sold for $4.91. Sometimes I ship these without the box. I never show the boxes in the listings. I say they may or may not have original packaging because they're sold both with and without original packaging. Depends on if it'll cost me more to ship. Sold one piece of train track for $4.76. This is one of those bulk listings that I have a ton of stock on, but I wasn't paying attention to the stock number because I never actually counted to see how many I had. So, and I just put check stock next to the number, and of course it got all the way down to 0 when I still have like 70 of them. So it closed and I had to relaunch it. Who knows if I lost any sales there. 1991 FASA Battletech Omni-Mech Blueprints, still sealed, $135. Got this from Peter. This is a consignment item from Peter. Peter gets the highest payout percentage of any of my consigners because all Peter ever brings me is high dollar items that are usually sealed and are quite valuable and low labor. So Peter's going to get a lot of money on his spreadsheet. Peter doesn't bring me junk. He doesn't bring me stuff that takes a lot of my time. Sold this Curious George backpack. I believe I got this on ADH Dave's Whatnot for about $8. Sold for $21.82. All right, that's all the sales for now. This can result in a massive long-term decrease in YouTube views. Most big YouTubers I've researched who have ditched eBay-based videos for live selling end up with only a small fraction of views per video than they used to have, even if their number of subscribers keeps going up. One example of this is Josh Harry Tornado. Looking back at his old videos, it appears that he and Haley got almost 5 million views in January of 2022. It was nearly an all-time high for them. February 2022, they started selling on Whatnot, and their monthly views immediately started going down massively. And today, their monthly views are only 16% of what they were before Whatnot. Now, I was originally chalking this entirely up to Whatnot, but I did get to exchange some messages with Josh about this, and there is more to it than that. The same time that Josh and Haley started Whatnot, they switched from 3 videos a week to 2 videos a week, and that right there accounts for a huge drop in the views. And he's went on to say that his videos, most of his videos, his average run-of-the-mill videos are still averaging the exact same numbers that they have for the past 4 years. And looking at his stats, I was easily able to verify that. So his run-of-the-mills are doing exactly the same as before he switched to Whatnot. However, he is not getting nearly as many of those just bang it out of the park 500,000, 300,000 view videos. Those aren't happening nearly as much. And honestly, I have no idea if Whatnot plays any factor in that at all. I could have no idea. So obviously it's more complicated than I initially thought it was. If you are a big YouTuber, definitely bigger than me, who has switched exclusively to Whatnot, how have your views gone since then? Please let me know in the comment, or personally get a hold of me. I'd like to know, and I'd like to know if there's any other extenuating circumstances like Josh had with also reducing his release schedule. Now, what do I personally think is the best use of live selling? I think it's best used for special occasions. Use it when you need to make room immediately, or when you build up enough items that aren't worth listing on eBay. Or maybe get a huge specialty lot of lower dollar items. Then, blast them out on Whatnot. Or Dibdit. Or anything I'm missing. But I think for most of us, a shift to focusing on live selling would be misplaced. And if you're already living in both worlds right now, maybe that's exactly where you want to be. Hey, if you've made it this far, why don't you hit that subscribe button? My subs have been flat for months, and subs are the main reason I'm doing this, because I don't get much money from the YouTube people. And if this is the end, well, thanks, and I hope to see you again soon.